Alright guys, it's me. I had to take time off because I needed to tend to myself and my baby Kismet, my cat. That swelling on his paw is still there, and it's a long story. That has been a major trigger, and so it's really been a very deep and intense journey into myself, you know. It's been very difficult, really, and very, just, motherfucker, this weather. I took him to the vet, and they took an x-ray, and they couldn't really work out exactly what it was, but they said it was an infection. But it hasn't responded to antibiotics, and it's very bizarre because he seems absolutely fine in himself, and he's moving absolutely fine, and he's going out with his little friends, and he's eating with relish. It's very odd. And I'm taking him to another vet who practices homeopathy and who seems more amenable to do some proper investigation as to what is going on with my cat's hock. It's his left leg on the back, and they call that a hock. So that's what is going on, and it's been just a massive trigger point, and it's taken me from where I was in the graveyard in my last video that I was talking about. It's taken me from there to this point, and today even has not been a good day. I've just been feeling really dreadful, but big, positive, powerful, sovereign, but I'm in a very different place than I was even when I did that last video, you know, victory or victimhood, because I knew I was going into that way of being, and that it was gonna be, and I knew that this entire situation with Kismet and everything that it's triggering, I kept getting the words, this is a defining moment, and I'm trying to think how to put it into words. One issue I often have in doing these videos, right, is that that I know that there's gonna be people listening to my videos, and it shouldn't matter and it shouldn't bother me, but for some reason it still does. And I think the reason for that is that it triggers my own self-doubt and my own fear, which is still there, and I think that's why. But you know, you get these people, I call them haters. They're so immured to living in fear and to being in a state of victimhood. They're not aware of this, but they are literally entirely immersed in darkness, and they get very angry when anybody, someone like myself, talks about triumph, sovereignty, true sovereignty, right? True independence, true self-reliance, true self-activation, true power. But that's exactly where I'm going, that's where I'm heading, that's what I'm feeling, that's what I'm sensing, that's what I'm experiencing. Some weird shit has happened that I just cannot put into words. it's been darker in some aspects of it, darker than I've ever known it. Other than that time where I took a drag of a CBD oil pen thingy. I had a drag of it and I went straight to hell. The only time I went there was before that was many years ago, like decades ago, where I took some acid and the same thing happened. I went into the heart of evil. I now know, because I've been there through this situation with Kismet. And I've been there, I've been in the heart of evil. Guys, I'm just gonna get some water. I don't know, this might be a short video, this might be a long rambly one, I don't know. There's so many angles and there's so many things that are even now just going through my head. It's like, well, like receptivity to goodness and miraculousness, and the state that we exist in, where we literally, like those of us who already exist in a highly self-reliant state, that would be me. My whole life, because I've been on my own my whole life, and I've had to literally, even my family were like my worst enemies, and I've been surrounded by enemies my whole life, one way or another. It has become my modus operandi to be highly self-reliant and to not trust anybody else to do anything for me whatsoever. If you want something done, do it yourself, you know, that sort of thing. But hyper. So I don't think I've been going through life being very, and there's far more to that, but I don't think I've ever been particularly receptive to other people's compassion, empathy, support, etc. It's literally, I think it sort of bounces off me, because it's like, oh, there's so many reasons for that anyway. There's a fear of people, there's a dislike of people, strong dislike. So much has been going on because of this Kismet situation. So many things about my own psyche, my own programs, behavior, emotions, hell, my own hell contagion, my insanity. But yeah, I suppose to start at the beginning, and there's probably going to be loads of things that I wanted to talk about that I'm just going to end up forgetting. Or just whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to sit here now and I'm just going to try and just get it out and just do a video, because something said do a video, and honestly it was like what now, because I've had a really bad day. It's been like yesterday, you know, that sense of entropy. There is no pleasure, no comfort, no enjoyment, there is no light, there is absolutely nothing. Some people call that feeling numb, but there is no such thing as feeling numb. There just isn't. We never feel numb. But when you are in a state of extreme darkness and there is no light of any kind, and you just in this extreme entropy, beyond that really, it's just hell. It's hell. But I was there and it was very difficult, and it was hell. And I was in that today as well, but I still managed to get that appointment with the homeopathic vet. I managed to get my other vet to send over Kismet's notes and his x-rays. They've taken 2. They also took a pathology of fluids in his joint and worked out that it isn't cancer and there's no infection. I hated giving him the antibiotics. They had to be orally administered. It was a nightmare. He hated it, obviously he would. I've put him on probiotics, And I even tried to use homeopathy myself, but I'm not a homeopath. And there was a remedy. I tried Heparsov, and then I tried carcinosin, but it wasn't helping, and I think it's probably because I just got it wrong. Luckily, they don't harm you in any way, shape, or form if they're not the right remedy. So but it's been very tough. See, the triggers in our life, and as you guys know, I believe that all the bad things that happen are triggers that are happening for a reason, that they are meaningful and that they are profoundly powerful healing tools. That is what I feel. I do not believe that evil always wins. I do not believe that we're all trapped in the matrix. I do not believe that we're powerless. I do not believe in vengeance. I don't believe in that because it comes from a place of powerlessness and victimhood. I believe that I'm a powerful creator being, and I feel this now more than I've ever fucking done before. That's when you get the haters coming in. Well, but look at your and nothing and you've got nothing to show for it. Well, you see, that's because consciousness creates reality, and every time I go down that road, every time I let that influence me, my video goes slightly off the rails. So from now on, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. If you have issues with sovereignty, with doing whatever it takes to take hold of this experience, this thing you're in, to take hold of it with your bare fucking hands, and to do whatever it takes with it to make it into what you want it to be, to make it work for you, to be the hunter, to be sovereign, to be powerful, to realize you're powerful, and to start to use that and turn the tables on this shit. If you're not wanting to do that, if you believe you cannot do that, this channel is not for you and you must leave. Somebody left a comment. It was a very gaslighting, narky sort of comment, talking about, well, I was happy to find your channel. I finally thought that I'd found, what did he say it was? Some sort of open forum. Yes, an open forum where, we could talk about and this and and you can't tell people that they need to fuck off from your channel because, that's really, who are you? And you can't say that, and it was like, wow. I can say anything I fucking like. It's my channel. If you don't like that, get the fuck off my channel. If you're a hater, if you're a negative person and you just want to wallow in your fucking toxic shit and you want to carry on believing that you're powerless and that there's nothing you can do and it's all a soul trap and you're powerless and there's nothing you can do and blah, you must leave. And your comments will be deleted. I don't hate you or anything, but I'm just not interested in any of that. I never really was. I've honoured these nuances within myself because they are, yes, they are very much a part of this experience, these horrendous, overwhelming feelings of hate, of rage, of wanting vengeance, of wanting redress, of wanting a reckoning, of wanting to see your enemies on their fucking knees in front of you begging for mercy. But ask yourself this: if you had a choice between getting that vengeance but carrying on the same as this, it's better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. I'd rather serve in heaven myself, to be honest, but there you go. It's a choice you each and every one will make if you're sold, right? I used to be a hater. I used to watch videos of people that used to talk about self-empowerment and how to go about this. And it used to trigger me. It used to trigger my victimhood. And it used to trigger, more than anything else, I realized this now, my self-hate. That wasn't my fault then, and if you're feeling that way by watching my videos, then that isn't your fault either, because that's just where you're at. And maybe in, 3 or 4 years time, of living in hell, of your, in some ways indeed, of your own making, you're going to come back to my channel and you're going to realize that what I'm talking about is actually highly beneficial to you. Anyway, I'm never going to speak about that again. I'm going to leave that now because it just isn't what this channel is about. But I just had to say that. I felt like saying that. But it's time for me to leave that behind because I don't need to think about that anymore, because part of me now is there saying, yeah, I used to believe that evil always wins and that I'm powerless, and I used to really, really hate myself and torment myself, and I wasn't even aware that I was doing it. But something has shifted in me to such a degree through, indeed, dreadful trauma, which took me into the heart of darkness. Here we are again, you know, the heart of evil. And I was there. And that's the place that I learned or found myself. I found myself there. You know, it's as if that program, because that's what it is, that is at the heart of all of it, evil always wins. And there's nothing you can do. Had to be faced head on. And I'm still going to be facing it, but I feel as if I was on that side of it, really believing it still, albeit on a very subconscious sort of murky level, right? And all the accompanying fallouts from it, right? Lots of like just toxic crap. Because it's like a tumour in a way. It is like a tumour, and that festers at the heart of our consciousness, you know. It festers there and it creates this whole experience. And I always said it was a shift, and I always said that shift would happen through these triggers, that these traumatic events, yeah, either to ourselves or to the people that we love, often, you know, for the animals that we love. And that's harder, much harder. You feel far more helpless, really, in many ways, when shit happens to the people or the animals or the plants even that you love. You feel far worse. You sit there, you say to yourself, well, why, motherfucker? Why? You think that is the height of sadism. And it really is, you know, in a way. It's so interesting to me how evil is actually being used to undo evil. But that is really what we're looking at here. You think to yourself, why my cat, man? Get your fucking dirty claws off my cat. But it's bizarre. Even the vet seems utterly nonplussed and thinks it's weird. As it says, I mean, it was weird because I was in there and I'd had the result of the pathology, and then this fucking demon nurse, veterinary nurse, came out, and my friend was with me, and he looked at her face and he thought, nah, it's all wrong. But I was in a state of, well, I have been in a fucking state every fucking day for nearly 6 weeks, ever since I did that last video, Victory or Victimhood, because that was the day, if you remember, when I was talking about Kismet, that was the day I noticed this paw. So this has been going on for 6 weeks now, and it's been fucking horrific. But I didn't even really, you know, I wasn't in a state of awareness. So she said, oh, can you bring the cat box? I brought the cat box, went into the room, and then she starts at me. Yes, well, you know, the pathology, well, we can't rule out cancer, you know, we can't rule it out. It might be septic, you know, he might die, you know. And it was like pure demonic, it was just that's it. And just, it was like, wow. I mean, I was feeling a lot better, right? I was feeling, I hate that word hope, but I was feeling hopeful. I was feeling more strong, positive, whatever, you know, and that just went wolves. But I was, at the same time, I've been very much in my witness stance, you know, the third person type thing, you know, where you literally, you're witnessing your true self and your hell contagion infected self, and it's like the interplay, and you're witnessing and you're paying attention and you're taking notes and you're integrating the whole thing integrating. Because as far as demonology is concerned, wow, just incredible, you know. So I took him home and thought, right, that's it, you know, and so it's on to this lady called Judith, who is a proper vet but also a homeopath, and you know, but my intuition was telling me stuff all along. This is a defining moment, and the whole, all of it brought me to a place of radical surrender and letting go of this intrinsic understanding that I choose to, what I manifest now, that I'm inching, albeit slowly, but I'm inching into taking my power back. That evil always wins and there's nothing you can do is a program. That I've been spellbound, that I've been kept, trapped in that hell that my consciousness has created, because it's been infected with a consciousness virus. Because when we are home, soul travelers, soul beings, when we are home, we create effortlessly. There is no disease, there is no old age, there is just this infinite, creative, harmonious, magical unfolding of fucking incredibleness, right? But there was an idea that what would it be like to create something that makes things very, very, very difficult, to put ourselves in a dark, twisted, hell-like maze. And I know here we go again, oh, but why would we do that? Well, there definitely was a reason, and for me I can say that I've learned a great deal from it. I find it all to be of great value and great meaning. But it was only ever meant to be a temporary state of affairs. And we were always going to start coming out of it. And that was always going to be very, very difficult. There is a guy, what's his name? GURDJIEFF. He was an interesting character. He conversely also talks about the whole kind of NPC thing quite a lot. But he said it beautifully, and I forgot to write it down, but he said that, you know, this experience is not something that just happens to us. Right? Consciousness is a powerful, powerful thing. It's a powerful entity, a powerful thing that wants to go into duality and experience that. And you can only experience it through the experience of evil, but also through the experience of good. And how the two are intertwined. They are not separate. It's like people always go on about, oh, well, this is the material world and that's the spiritual world. And it's like, no, everything is spiritual. I don't even like that word, but everything is electromagnetic, right? This is an illusion. We're not really here, you know? It's a dream construct. Somebody, a Facebook friend, called it that, and I'd have to concur, you know, that yes, it is. It's not real at all. It's a Fibonacci fake world, and the same patterns repeat over and over and over again. The crime statistics, for example, in Chicago are the same every year, and it's like, we predict this and we predict that, and it's all based on algorithmic undulations that never really fucking change, and neither does anything, in fact, that is of this dead world never changes. It cannot change. It has feet of clay. I know what's going on. I know that the element within our consciousness that we used to use when we were home in order to endlessly create incredibleness, it was like a fuel source. Something has gone out of alignment and has become what I call the anti-force, the constant obstructionism, disease, decay, entropy, hate, rage, self-hate. I mean, when you live in this realm and you do not remember anything else, you're not going to love yourself. Believe me, people. Self-hate lies at the heart of it all. It is rabid. It is overwhelming. It's a fucking tsunami of rabid self-hate. And that is what the dark side uses against us. That's how it's all set up. When you're not aware of any of that, you can live over there and not be aware of that, and your life can have great meaning. You will accept without question that you're going to die. You're not going to even be aware of it in such a way. You're just going to live your life. You're going to have this fake construct of a person that you think you are, and you're going to do that and do that and do that. And it's not about school, it's not about learning, but it's about having an experience that will enrich you beyond anything you can possibly begin to imagine. In this hellhole even, it's incredible, but it is. And you will what's the word, distill all of that again and again and again, and you will go to the near-death experience place, and you will always know a real NDE from a fake one anytime. Most NDEs are fake, and they're NPCs, and they're lying through their teeth when they say that they met Jesus and now they've given their life to Jesus and they're saved and they're this and they're that, and it's like, yeah, you're just a lying NPC, and it's a lie. Because these NDEs they advocate and create dependence and disempowerment, and they are clearly life force sucking operations, and they're there to disenfranchise you on a very intrinsic level, to just take it away from you. But there are people who have NDEs that are profoundly empowering and life-changing in incredible, meaningful, profound fucking ways. I've known people like that. And there is absolutely no denying that. Everything that is potently empowering us, that uplifts us, encourages us, that helps us to help ourselves, that shows us how to walk on our own 2 feet, how to work it out for ourselves, that is of the light, you see. And these NDEs are just very much a part of this experience. Again, you have many lifetimes, you have many experiences in which you distill all kinds of information, all kinds. And you will learn so fucking much from it as well. That will enrich you, not because you needed to learn, because you're infinite, so you don't need to. You already knew. But it's very different between knowing something and living it in this way, and that's why we chose to do that. Well, at least I did, I feel, and so that's that, and I'm good with that, because I know now that you get to your exit life. You don't have to die, you don't have to grow old. You're here now to work magic. But for you to be able to do that, you have to go into the heart of evil. I've spoken about it before as the heart of darkness. You have to confront that which creates the anti-force. And when you go there, it ramps up. It increases and it ramps up, and it becomes more and more belligerent and more sadistic and more just beyond words, because it resists being neutralized. It, like all artificial intelligence, has a mind of its own and it doesn't want to die. Alright? So, yeah, the light, your true self, hurls you into these experiences that indelibly take you right into it. No denying. You can try and medicate it away. You think, well, I'm gonna keep smoking. I'm gonna start eating more, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and because that's what everybody on the external does. They medicate themselves. They medicate the elephant in the living room. They don't want to feel that. They don't want to go into the heart of evil. So they take drugs. They have sex addictions, they They want to buy shit they don't need. Buy. The people equate having wealth and status with morality, but it's really just self-medication. It's all just, wow. You get to a point where none of that will work. That's when you have this soul-drilling entropy of, oh my fuck. So I'm here now, and food tastes like fucking, there's nothing I can do. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. I'm just gonna have to feel this now. Because by that point you will have purged, neutralized, alchemized so much of your hell contagion that you're able to do that. You're able to hold yourself there, be with yourself there, and radically accept that you are in that state. This is it, because you will understand what it is and why it is. You will get that by that point. You will have your own way of looking at it. You will have your own words, your own language, your own rhetoric, you know, your own feel, your own understanding of it. I'm not saying you shouldn't look at it the way I do. No, that's me. I'm an individual. I'm authentic. I'm me. You're an individual. You're authentic. You're you. So you do it in your own way. That's how it's meant to be, right? But you will know beyond any doubt that you have arrived at, well, that moment where you are gonna go through the eye of the needle. You're either just in front of it or you're in it and you're going through the eye of the needle. Because at that point you're gonna be aware that it is what you choose, that you had the power all along, but that you were very cleverly gaslit and manipulated, and all of mirrors, subterfuge. I've spoken about this in countless of my videos, into believing that you are that's you. It's like everybody, for example, that I come across who's sort of away, but you know, whatever, they talk about 5G and I believe it to be completely real. I've never believed in 5G. I've always known it's a complete lie. There is no such thing as 5G. I don't care about chemtrails anymore. I don't care about, there's a lot of shit that goes on and people go on about it as if it's real, and that they are then much affected by, and it makes them sick, like smart meters. I used to worry about smart meters. I don't anymore. I don't care. And the more I no longer believe in it, and I really don't, it just doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me at all. Because consciousness, you see, consciousness creates reality. And how it does that is by truly, completely believing that something is true. That's one example of it. So if you totally believe that evil always wins, you're gonna really experience that. It's going to be at you in the most sadistic, cruel way. You know, even like for me, getting dressed, it's like an ordeal. You have a shower and it shoves your head. It's like you're under 24/7 demonic attack, because you're in the heart of evil, you see, and it's your time to face the ultimate program. It is the ultimate program. It's the end all. It's the omega point, guys. It's the omega point. Omega point. Evil always wins, and there's nothing you can do. You have to not only know that as an abstract, but you have to feel that, because that is really what it's all about. It's not about anybody with that left brain clever consciousness. You get people like that, you know, a lot of them are NPCs and they think they're really, really smart, you know, and they have that savant type of energy, and they're very good at maths. But it's all about the abstract. They can talk endlessly about abstracts, but they know nothing about the feeling, the intrinsic understanding of it. Okay? The origin point of all of it, of everything that we have experienced, all of it is in here. It's in here. It's your own consciousness. You are the creator of everything that you've been through, that you have experienced. It isn't something that just happens to you. You are constantly happening. You are happening all the time. But it's a terrified, you're terrified of stepping into that. Because the program is that if you do that, you will be fucking punished. You will be ripped apart. It will threaten you with visions of such dark, rotten horrificness as to shit that just simply even lies beyond hell, right? The fear is just wow. And so you have to do it tiny bit by tiny bit. You have to inch your way through it. But you'll often find that stuff happens, like when I had that pipey thing, but also in fact varies, like when I had massive breakdown, that was 13 years ago. You get these big chunks of blackness. Every now and then something happens that puts the fear into you like never before, and it will bring up a great big chunk of that stuff, right? And it is like you're on acid, literally. It's like you're in hell and you've just taken some really, really bad acid. That's just what it's like. Terrifying beyond words. Because that is what evil is. Evil is insanity. Evil is woundedness. Evil is the lost child. Evil is a case of mistaken identity. Evil is self-hate. Evil is the belief that evil believes itself to be dirty and rotten and sinful and forever unaccepted, forever rejected. But it can never ever acknowledge that. Any narcissist will live that out. Any narcissist that you come across, whether they're parents or whether they're boyfriends or husbands or children or whatever, neighbors, are the personification of that within your own psyche. The inability to accept that you feel that way. It isn't the truth, even it's not the truth. But if you go into your own psyche, into your own mind, into your own consciousness, you will come across this self-hate. And we're all narcissistic up to a point. We've all got it in us, If you see it on the external, some of that's going to be in you, no doubt about it whatsoever. So it's up to you at any given moment how much of you, how much of yourself is able to accept that you hate yourself, and that self-hatred is entirely inappropriate, because you are a beautiful, perfect, creator being. You are an infinite being, just having this experience. And you get so lost in it. You've been so lost in it. You've believed it all to be true, and you've regained the lost territories bit by bit by bit. Like me, that's what I've been doing. That's what my videos are about. You are a fucking cauldron of brokenness and distortions and programs, because you've created a reality full of enemies, full of fucking demons and enemies that have harmed you. They've harmed you insidiously, brutally, sadistically, in every imaginable way. You've been completely lost. The Minotaur in the maze, right? You've believed in the power of evil your whole life. How many people do you come across that they might tell you that they believe in the power of good, that they believe in the power of the light, but do they? Do they really? This is a world of concepts. Everybody talks about concepts. Oh, this and that, I believe this and I do this and I am this and I'm going there and that means that. But it's all concepts. It's like just like a fucking ad. And it's all bullshit, it's all bullshit. Because the only thing that matters is the experience itself. And how does it feel? How do you really, really feel? Don't tell about what you're thinking. Don't tell me about what your theories are. No, tell me about how you're feeling, because that's where your truth is at. Always there, that's it. Are you afraid of 5G? Do you believe it's real for you? You must do, otherwise you wouldn't be so afraid. But that's why it harms you. I mean, it's a strange thing. This thing we laughingly refer to as reality. Right? We suffer dreadfully, especially in our exit life. Right? I mean, I went to the garage earlier because I really fancied some peanuts. You know, because food's just been like, so and my liver's been hurting a hell of a lot as well. I've not been well, but I know what it is. It's this great big detox, you know, the cosmic fucking detox is on, you know. And so all kinds of shit goes down, man. You know, going for a walk, and there's all these electricity pylons everywhere, and there's far more than there used to be, because it's shifted. Reality shifts all the time, you know, Mandela effect. Woo. And they were making this weird hissing sound, and woo. And I went over there to the garage, and there were these two guys, and one of us jump starting a car, and one guy was in the car, and then there were two outside, and one of them turned around and looked at me, and I was like, whoa, you're a demon, straight away. I knew. And then he turned around to the other guy, and they were literally speaking demon to each other. I mean, I can't even begin to explain. It was a strange language, very similar to something you might come across in, say, Lord of the Rings, with, like, I don't know, the fighting Uruk-hai, like, it was like that. It was fucking like, it was like, whoa, motherfucker. And it was like that. And I thought, yeah, well, yeah, I'm not surprised you were a fucking demon, you know. So I went in, I got my peanuts, I went out and I had a look, and I was like, yeah. And I was speaking normal English, you know, and sort of laughing. But you know, I am aware that this is my reality. I'm aware that I am protected. I'm aware that even as I say that, there's the anti-force still there saying, no, you're not. Now something bad's going to happen, because now you've tempted faith, now you've done it, and you shouldn't be sitting here doing that video, because, you know, you're just ooh. See, it's like you walk through this experience, and you go from being fucking almost totally oblivious and under the dark spell. All these programs, people call them beliefs, but they're not beliefs, you know, they're programs. That's what they are. You've been programmed with this dark, toxic sludge. Like that. And you don't know what you don't know. And you keep on not knowing what you don't know, yet feeling really conceited and thinking you do know. I used to be like that too. You know? I used to be incredibly conceited and think that I knew, but the only thing I didn't know was what I didn't know, you see, but I didn't know that. And that's still the case now, because right now I know a hell of a lot more than I used to know, but there's still a shit that I don't, there's still a shitload that I don't know. But that middle point was reached where it's like, once you've dealt with the number one motherfucking program, which is evil always wins and there's nothing you can do. Once you've dealt with that and you begin to really neutralize and alchemize that shit, there's no looking back. That is the omega point. I'll call it that. I'll call it the omega point. You gotta call it something, right, for reasons of communicative purposes. So I will call it that. You then come across other progress, such as the dreadful fucking terror you have of your own fucking power. Oh my fucking god. It's like, again, concept. Oh, we're all afraid of our own power, you know. How many people have said that? Do they feel it? Do they understand and know that? No. They're probably just jabbers, you know. They jabber on, jabber, you know, jab. What does it actually feel like to really sit and really feel that program? That, well, what happens when if miracles happen, what if that Mandela effect reset, reality reset business starts to ramp up in miraculous and magical ways, and all of a sudden things become really fucking incredible? I won't be able to deal with that. No, I won't be able to handle that. And it's like, fuck off. I've just spent fuck knows how many, I was going to say years, but of course time is another fucking lie and an illusion. But I've spent fuck knows how long here going through unspeakable hell, and you're telling me I'm going to sit there and be afraid of a fucking miracle? Motherfucker, you know? You become aware that you have been a major impediment to your receiving your own fucking power and your own fucking magic and your own fucking everything incredible. Because that hijack, no, you are powerless, no, you have to believe you're powerless, you have to be, don't forget to be afraid. There is so much about this shift. And it did say that to me. It's that we're building a bridge of love between two worlds. There is the world of darkness, duality, right? Inversion, whatever. And there is the world of infinite creativity. And you reach that middle point where you finally become aware that, that is the biggest shackle, the spell of all spells. You start to work on that. Right. You start to become aware that in order for you to work your magic, you need to be able to receive it. Now that sounds crazy, because that sounds like it's coming from somewhere else, which it isn't. But you're averse to receiving, because there is this self-hate that says, well, you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you deserve to suffer, you deserve to be punished. It's the anti-force, you know. I knew, because a year ago I was talking about the Black Hands, and then 5-6 weeks just before Kissy, I was talking about the Punisher edition, the limited edition. We go beyond. Because it is a relentless, punitive force that you have to acquiesce with. Otherwise it wouldn't exist. You know? And that intrinsic understanding of, no, defiance, but really deeply rooted, powerful, robust defiance. It's not an angry defiance, because you realize that your anger, your reactivity, is just something else rooted in a sense of evil always sins and there's nothing I can do and I'm powerless, I'm a powerless victim, right? So you learn you don't need to react anymore. So yeah, demons, okay, yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, we had, because I was cycling and there was this NPC and she was a demon as well, and she's there and she's got this big Rottweiler, and this is a path both for walkers and cyclists, right, and dogs and fuck knows what else. Live and let live. But they sit there or they stand on their phone and their dog is up and down, and then you're there and then the dog jumps out right in front of your bike. So, you know, you skid and you fall off your bike, say. And of course, me, still being quite reactive, I went right up to her and I said, I know what you fucking are. You're a fucking demon and you're going to burn in hell. I was really angry, you know. And, you know, she just stood there and laughed at me. And that really, really got to me in a big way. And it was in that moment that I fucking realised that, you know what? My reactivity, my vitriol, my vengefulness feeds these motherfuckers. So I'm going to not be doing that no more. I'm going to keep letting go, and I'm going to keep letting go, and I'm not going to give that shit no more loosh. Because that's what it was. That's what it was. Right there in that moment. You know, that was a brilliant lesson. It was a very good lesson. It was like, yeah, there you go. Stop. People think that by getting agitated and angry and reacting and verbally lash them with, etc., etc. As well, very recently, that is the way to go about it, and it's not, guys. That's not the way to go about it, because it's feeding them, and it is clearly exactly what they want. So when I saw the demons in the forecourt there of the petrol station, even hearing them speak their foul language, whatever it was, I just literally just thought, never mind. Because when you believe that you are the powerful arbiter of all you behold, ultimately, you know it's all gonna be alright. You learn that letting go is the way. Keep letting go, keep surrendering, and keep forgiving. And people misunderstand forgiving. People think that means that you forgive those who have trespassed against you, the NPCs, the demons, evil itself. No, you forgive yourself. Forgiveness is a state of grace. It's where you decide that you can allow yourself now to let go of this fear, little by little, that you can allow yourself to let go of the program that evil always wins, and that you're a powerless victim. And if you're powerless and you can't help yourself and you can't help anybody else, then you're also worthless. And if you're worthless, then you hate yourself. You fucking hate yourself because you're powerless and you're worthless, and you just have to go through shit, and it's all shit and it's shit and it's shit. See? Forgiveness is letting go of all of that. It's a very difficult passage, that. Very difficult, but you get through it somehow. You know, because you're ready to do it, and you know how to navigate through it. And then you arrive at the other side, and you know beyond any doubt that something has shifted, something profound has happened. And you're not quite there yet. You know that. But you're going to keep walking. You're going to be present. And you're going to play around with how do I use my magic again? What's it look like? What do I want? You spent your whole life thinking about what you don't want. You spent your whole life thinking about risks and what might happen. And it's better to expect the worst, that way you won't be disappointed. Maybe now you can start to think about what you do want. Maybe you can start to live in possibilities and that sort of thing, rather than impossible and threat and difficulty and torment. Maybe you can start to live in grace and light and possibilities. And maybe you can start to feel into that fear of the magic, because that's just ludicrous, but it's there. It's mad, isn't it? And so, this whole Kismet situation, I've got an appointment on Wednesday, so I'm going to go. And it's quite a drive. It's about an hour's drive, I think, to get there. He's not going to like that. But, we're going to go. And I'm having to walk with faith, not blind faith, or faith in some demonic, two-faced psycho god up in the sky. Nothing like that. Faith in the power of the good, which is alive within me, which I've seen many, many times, and which, if I still believed evil always wins and there's nothing you can do, I would simply blindside and reject and turn away from, such as the self-hate. There is no light. Everything is shit. Yeah. There's been a hell of a lot of evil, nasty, disgusting shit. No doubt about that. And if you feel that way, I totally understand. I spent most of my life feeling that way. You're not wrong. But if you're blindsiding the good, the magical, the beautiful, the meaningful, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. But then that's the nature of self-hate. It's part of this journey. It's part of this journey, and all true souls will find their way home. They will find their way through that, as I I should say, right? I mean, things have been beyond language. The heat here, the weather was so weird. The weather is really weird. It's cold, but at the same time very humid. That's why I keep opening and closing the windows. It's really, everything feels dirty and sticky. And I think it was last week or the week before where the weather was so ridiculously hot, and it made me think of that Susie and the Banshees song, you know, 92 Fahrenheit degrees, which is on her album Tinderbox. This is my favourite Susie and the Banshees album, and it's, you know, absolutely, that is what happens. Everybody was off. I mean, the aggression levels went through the roof, and I could feel it all. It was like a boiling poison cauldron, and we were right in it. And Kiss, I had to give him his meds, and he went out, and he just didn't come back, and I was in the right state, and it was all coming up, you know. And it was the tightrope walk that I've spoken about in many of my videos, where you hold the light and the power here, but you're only very fucking dimly aware of it, because you're in a state of, I'm in hell and I've just taken some really bad acid, right? Not as a concept, you're feeling that, right? Wow. And that is your purge, that is it. It's like, but you know that, because I said it before and I'll say it again, this is the last layer, right at the bottom of the barrel, is going to be the most viscous, the most poisonous ooze imaginable, right? Utterly horrifying. Because evil knows its days are numbered. It knows, and oh boy, it's going to fucking put up a fight, you know? And yet at the same time, that which was out of alignment is slowly but surely coming back into alignment. And then it will realise there will be this moment of, oh bloody hell. I really thought it was, you know, I totally couldn't see it any other way. It was like that. That's where I was. But I can see now, oh wow, yeah. Peacefulness, you know, some peace, because peace is something we haven't had. We haven't had it. We haven't had peace. We haven't had anything even coming close to well-being or goodness, really. I mean, we've had very brief moments of light, because your soul traveler is in the exit life, okay, last life, and that is always going to be the worst motherfucking experience. You may previously had lives where you've had a lot of goodness, you know. I remember some lives that were fucking really nice. Yeah, I grew up and died, you know, but they were good. I had good lives. I had some really, really dreadful lives as well. But this life, whoa, Jesus, motherfuck. Wow, jeez. But that hell contagion, you see, it has to be dealt with. It has to be dealt with. I'm going to find that GURDJIEFF thing, if you guys bear with me, because I really do need to get that. Oh, sorry. Took me a little while to write that down. My handwriting is dire. Right. He says the evolution of human. Let's just say the evolution of the soul is the evolution of consciousness. Consciousness cannot evolve unconsciously. The evolution of the soul is the evolution of will. And will cannot evolve involuntarily. Do you understand what that means? You are not a victim. This isn't something that's just happening to you. You are at the center of it all. Everything that you experience, that you behold, is intrinsic to you. It is your experience. It shifts every day. And according to what state of consciousness you're in, from day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour, all notions of whatever, it shifts. It's never the same. It turns into all kinds. It morphs all the time. You are the signal that is emitted that directly has that influence on all of it. I believe that with all my heart. I've seen that over and over again. I've noticed that I may go out and experience it a certain way based on where I'm at that precise moment, what is happening within me. If I'm going to a really deep purge and there's a shitload of more layers of victimhood and evil always wins and there's nothing I can do, I will come across all this type of stuff that triggers that. So it's all demons and it's all shit and it's all just horrific, horrifying filth. And then there's days where it's inspirational and magical and wow, you know? It's incredible. This is an incredible journey, guys, you know? And you will learn to do it justice more and more. And by doing it justice, you do yourself justice. And that is what justice is, you see? Is to come home to yourself. Grace, love, infinity, knowing that you are powerful. You don't need to be in control. You don't need to be in a state of vengefulness. You don't need to be afraid. You still are, I still am, we're still here. I mean, varying levels, whoever, whatever. It's not done, it's not over yet. But it's a journey it happens by degrees, like I've always said in all my videos, as I was uncovering this myself. And that's where I'm at now. You know, so I hope that you guys will continue to say a little prayer, not religious, but in whichever way you choose to do so for Kismet. Your support with that is greatly appreciated, you know. And all my love to all of you.